think that this past year was a turning point for my leadership, to be honest with you. And I found that my superpower was actually vulnerability. And not just vulnerability about my mental health journey, but also vulnerability about leading the company.
Like what's happening in the company.
Yeah,
totally.
exactly.
You're gonna have really hard days, obviously. And I think if you don't foundationally really love the thing that you're driving towards and you wake up every day to work on, it can be really hard to get through those days.
And so I think, we have to remember to be grateful. Take a pause.
My name is Sam Bernstein. I'm the founder and CEO of Table 22. We help restaurants around the country launch subscription offerings online. One of the most motivating and fun parts of the job is to be able to come in and see our restaurants and be in the space that they create and really kind of feel their brand and the experience that they're wanting to provide for guests. Being here in person, seeing it come to life really kind of grounds you in why we do what we do. Really excited to spend time today with April from Spring Health. I'm a big admirer of hers and of her company and what she's built. Obviously they're working on a really different problem, a very worthwhile one. But I think, just as a leader and as a young founder, as she is as well, there are some universal experiences there.
I'm April Koh, CEO and founder of Spring Health. We are a mental health company based in New York. I started the company after struggling with my own mental health for over a decade. I'm thankful that I found something that ultimately worked for me, but in looking back on my journey, I was just so struck by how much random guessing there was. And so I partnered with the world's leading expert on computational psychiatry to use data to transform mental health care and get each person what they need from the start. I love meeting founders at different stages of their journey, and I love that Sam is at an earlier stage with Table 22. I kind of want to be reminded of some of the challenges that maybe he's facing now and some of the mindset that he's carrying with him right now. Hey, Sam.
Hey, April. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, this is gonna be fun.
I'm so excited to catch up about the business.
Yeah, likewise.
Awesome. Before we do that, we should probably have some coffee, right?
I think we gotta have a coffee.
Well, this is a new machine and it can do basically anything. Okay. So I think I'm gonna have a macchiato. What about you?
I think I'll take an Americano.
All right, here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
I've been looking forward to this conversation because you have such a different business from Spring Health with Table 22, but in so many ways we're similar in kind of how the pandemic has affected each of our businesses. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear how everything's been for you.
So it's only been 13 months, but it's been a total whirlwind. Obviously, I think we have a bunch of questions to answer related to what comes next and what's the world gonna look like and how are restaurants either gonna kind of continue on with everything that they've created and developed during the last kind of crazy period that we've been in, or what are they going to snap back to and what are consumers going to want. But mental health obviously is something that very different from food and restaurants, but something that feels like it also took on a lot of importance during the pandemic. Talk about how you're feeling and how that's changed the trajectory that you guys were on.
It's been so bittersweet because the collective mental health of the world, I think, has been tanking or tanked during the pandemic, and people were so stressed and anxious and burned out, and there was a clear need for our services. Yeah. But it was bittersweet in that, it was our opportunity to rise to the occasion and make such an incredible impact in such a strange time.
Obviously, it's been super interesting being a leader during this period of time. We haven't had our teams in the office. We've been tackling problems that are super topical. I obviously have some tips and tricks that I feel like I picked up, but I would love to hear how you feel like your leadership style has developed over the last, year or even prior to that.
I think that this past year was a turning point for my leadership, to be honest with you. When I started the business, I obviously was passionate about mental health because it was so personal to me. Yeah. I didn't necessarily tell people about my personal story, and I just told people I was super passionate about it, and there was this disconnect. Yeah. And over the past year with everything going on and everyone's anxiety levels going through the roof and the stigma starting to go away around mental health, I started to really open up about my own journey. And I found that my superpower was actually vulnerability. And not just vulnerability about my mental health journey, but also vulnerability about leading the company.
Like what's happening in the company.
Yeah,
totally.
exactly. What about you? Like, how has your leadership style changed?
You know, it's funny you mentioned vulnerability because, you know, I have this incredible board member that we've had for some time, and he has this great thing that he likes to talk about, which is there are two ways to be strong. You can be strong like this, or you can be strong like this. And strong like this is a very defensive kind of posture, and it's closed off. And strong like this is, you know, I can handle the burden, and I'm here to lead the team, and everyone can sort of stand on my shoulders.
I feel like people think that, you know, the founder life is like glamorous and it's like all fun all the time.
Yeah.
Or they think maybe the opposite, where it's just like so overwhelmingly stressful.
Yep.
I feel like caring too much is, or caring a lot is a blessing and a curse, right? Like, yeah, we care so deeply about, you know, fixing mental health care and giving people access to high quality care. And because we care so much, it's sometimes really stressful. And, you know, on this founder journey, everything just feels really personal sometimes.
Totally.
And, yeah, but, you know, how have you been taking breaks and taking care of your wellness even through all this?
Yeah, I think I do a decent job in the absolute. And I think one of the things I've observed over time is like the highs get less high and the lows get less low.
Yeah.
And then over time, as you're more experienced and you have more reps, like, you know, things don't shake your, you know, world in the way that they used to. But I think you do have to have those kind of micro level day-to-day things where, you know, to just sneak out for a couple of minutes, or you know you need to go to a good meal, or you know you need to take a day off, or whatever it is.
No, yeah, you know, what you were saying really resonates. I think you do need, you know, other centers of gravity. You need real relationships in your life to ground you. And I have encouraged people in my team to take mental health days, and I take mental health days, and I make it public. I tell the entire team, I announce it. And on those days, I just, you know, putt around, you know, and I just like, you know, make myself some coffee in the morning, just walk around the block, just like have a relaxing, slower day. Because it can be so, again, chaotic, overwhelming. We're moving at such a fast pace, but sometimes you just need to take a step back and realize that, as you said, this is a dream job. Like, I am working on something that matters so much to me, that saves and changes lives daily. And so I think, you know, we have to remember to be grateful. Take a pause.